This is a view. This started well. This is a view from the bridge, official podcast of the Belfast Giants for King Giants. It's Tuesday, the 18th of March, and as you can see, there's no Paddy Smith. The title of the show on the Piste. Paddy's off skiing. Literally anything could happen here. I assume we're live, so we'll act like we're live. And I'll say a good evening to Simon and Marty. Simon, how are you?
I'm okay. David, how are you?
Bit stressed with this whole hosting the show business. It's so much easier, isn't it, just to sit every week and just answer questions. But Paddy decides once or twice a year to disappear, and it becomes very stressful. My good friend Marty, how are you, Marty? It was lovely to see you last Wednesday, mate, and your dad.
Yeah, likewise. Yep, certainly at the game it was awesome. But here, don't be stressed about tonight. Every time you've hosted, you've done very well. So all will be good.
Well, but I must admit, before the people watching already, I've misread a text from Paddy where he was telling me how to cut the videos, and I was actually thinking he was saying he was cutting them. So we, without further ado, we will move on to last Wednesday, which was the cup final. And I don't know. We'll see if I can share something. Oh dear. I don't know. Phil for me there says, talk about something when I try to find the videos here.
David,
talk about last Wednesday night.
Last Wednesday night was brilliant, mate. I thought that, we came out. Actually, I thought they came out better than what we did. I thought they were a little bit quicker off the blocks, but Jackson stood up tall, made a couple of brilliant saves in the first period. But to get that first goal, I sort of think it took a bit of weight off our shoulders, because when you're looking at what had happened in the previous 4 games before that, and obviously coming out with the win against Guildford the week before, the Sunday before, was important, because you don't want to go into a final on a loss. But getting that first goal was key. It's one of those ones where it just makes everybody feel good about themselves, and obviously pushed on and got a really timely second goal from JJ. Great little 1-2 with Collins, and the pass from Collins for the tip to head into the top corner over Carruth was fantastic. You're getting that 2-0 lead, getting in after 20 minutes. The crowd was unbelievable. I mean, all three of us were there. The noise, I thought the noise was just insane. And I even said to Adam when I interviewed him on Friday morning that it's sort of, I thought it was back to 2018 Continental Cup or 2017 Continental Cup. I can't remember what year. But I thought it was that loud. And, everybody was engaged in it. Everybody was right into it. And then I was coming off with the third goal. And obviously the fourth one, to sort of like an insurance marker, and Carruth, everybody, they called a timeout at the end of that fourth goal, and everybody thought that Carruth was getting pulled off, and everybody thought that Carruth was getting pulled, and he kept going with him. And to be honest, I actually thought he ramped up a wee bit there, but Jackson made a couple of really huge saves in the second period as well to keep them off the score sheet, and obviously coming out a 4-0 lead getting into the third period was just fantastic, and we managed the game really, really well. To win a trophy at home when when things weren't looking as if you're going your way, we're finding it difficult to hit the net the previous 2 weeks leading up to that. But against Cardiff this year, we've done very, very well, and it just continued last week as well.
Marty, a night off for you as such, and no commentary or whatever. You're able to just sit there with your dad and really take in the game, take in the atmosphere as well. Over 6,150 in the building says, and go to Marty obviously in the question, but Cardiff Devils play their part in what was a great game, but as I said, the Giants just managed the game very well.
Yeah, just touching on the atmosphere first and foremost, it was unbelievable. That's the third final in 4 years at the SSE Arena. And certainly, I think that was probably the loudest. I thought the first Cardiff final 4 years ago, I thought it was loud, but my goodness, even without the seating as well behind the goal, the place was electric, really good. Everyone was pumped for it. But yeah, touching on the game, just reiterating what Sis had said, I thought Cardiff maybe first 7-8 minutes were very threatening. Jackson came up big, made some key saves, but once Kieran Long got that goal, it was a bit of a broken play. I think it was a couple of poke checks by the Cardiff Devils, and bit of a Barriga kind of bit of a swing at it, and then just Kieran Long just timed it perfectly coming in and getting that top shelf. But from there on, then Giants just what I loved about their game was the passing. Everything was so crisp, the confidence in their play. Says a touch there about the kind of 4 losses there before the Guildford games. Guys were looking a little bit nervous at times. Obviously looking to their teammate, hoping that they would maybe do the business. Obviously looking for someone else to kind of pull them out of a hole. But everyone kind of took responsibility there on Wednesday night. And even I remember there was a play, I think it was in the third period. Marin, before he even got the puck, he just knew where his D man was. I think it was Roach was up on the point, and he didn't even look. He just got the puck from backhand onto forehand, banged it perfectly, angled it perfectly off the board, straight on the Roach over to Hansen, shot and goal. And I just when them type of plays were happening, I just knew everyone knows exactly where everyone is, and the stars aligned there on Wednesday night. And I thought it was a perfect performance from start to finish.
And good goals, says, but timely goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, that one at the end of the first period, we're just watching a replay of it here now. JJ going to the net, and I thought that was superb. But to be honest, when we got that second goal, I looked over at the Cardiff bench, and they were deflated. They genuinely were. Their heads were down. Even Peter Russell, he's holding his head, walking along the back of the bench. Then it's. When they played, I agree with Marty. I thought they played the first 7 or 8 minutes. I thought they had the better chances. They were very physical. They seemed that they've really started the game very strong. But it's like a lot of goalies in this league, when they get a couple of good saves, they sort of get stronger as the game goes on, and the longer it goes without conceding. We faced it in the last 4 or 5 weeks. We've made the NHL goals, or we've made goalies look like it's never played to play in the NHL. And you're sort of just not getting the corners. You're hitting shots right at the body of the players. And but that goal at the end of the first period by JJ Pikanich was a real timely goal. Really, really important. To go into the locker room, Adam and Peter Russell are sitting chatting to each other, chatting themselves, going, 55 seconds to go here. I need to think about what I'm going to say in the locker room. It's flipped on its back as soon as you're 2-0 up. You can win a game and 2-0 up. Sometimes you can lose a game 2-0 up as well. But obviously to come out and get 2 goals very quickly in the second period, I think it was 120 or 130 in between each of the goals. To get that 4-0 lead so early into the second period. And Marty just touched on it there. Everything sort of seemed to be going our way. I'm sick of all this crap that certain, groups of fans basically complain about. Belfast get the easiest group to start off the start of the season. They've got that. Davy tweeted out there the other day about how many finals there's been in the Challenge Cup and how many there's been in Cardiff compared to how many have been in Belfast. If you play well at the start of the season, you get rewarded. We got rewarded. We've got the final the third time in Belfast, as Marty touched on, and we've won all 3 of them. So slap it up, you Challenge Cup champions for the 5th time in 7 years. That's a remarkable record for Madam and his players.
And Marty says there about the timeliness of especially the 4th goal. It allowed us then to manage the ice. We talk about it often about managing the clock and managing the ice. We're able to set up that sort of 1-1-3-4 checker and even stringing guys along the blue line, forcing them, trying to keep the puck away from Jackson as much as anything. We talk about making goalies look like the NHL. Great tournament from Jackson from start to finish, right through the Challenge Cup, but an unbelievable performance in the final.
Yeah, definitely. And the third period was all really game management. You could feel, obviously, that the first 2 periods, the crowd were electric, and then you could see the third period. They obviously wanted a bit more, but then obviously the Giants had managed it perfectly in the third. As you said, their formation, they're kind of clogging up the neutral zone, and then when the Devils were coming in taking shots on to Jackson Whistle was seeing a lot of the puck, so he wasn't really going east to west. He did make some grade A saves. There was some grade A shots, but his forwards and defense in front of him did help him out a lot in that third period, especially. Just watching Mark Cooper's goal there, we'll probably come on to touch about this as well, but I was so glad to see Mark getting a goal, because I think he more or less did pull the team by the horns, pull the bull by the horns in that semi-final when they played against Nottingham. And just for him then to get a goal in the final and then obviously go on to lift the cup as well, I was so pleased for him. Obviously, I was wanting the team to win the final first and foremost, but especially it was nice to see Mark eventually lift a trophy as the club captain.
It says for you, a little word for Coops, his 100th goal in Teal, that goal in the final, and obviously as talking to him the other day, you never forget your first trophy as captain for, you know exactly what I mean.
I never forget that. No way. I mean, we've got a wee group with his mum and dad, Davy, me, yourself, and Laura, and Lillian and Randy send us messages all the time, and they would have been absolutely delighted for Mark to do that and go out and lift the trophy. You know, for that to happen. Obviously, you look back at our history, we've won that's 17 major trophies that we've won now. David Goodwin's been on the end of a lot of those, and Mark Cooper's had to stand and watch him. Yes, it's great for everybody to get their hands on the cup, but to hoist it when you're taking it from, obviously this time was Liam Sewell, but when you get that and then everybody's aiming a bottle of champagne at you, you know, that feeling, I don't know what it's felt like, because we never had any of that, you know, money to waste champagne. It was always the other things that was getting squirted at you. But, you know, to get that squirted at you and go into the eyes and stuff like that, I remember David Goodwin saying it's the worst feeling to, you know, basically try and turn around, close your eyes, lift the trophy up in the air and wish for the best. But, you know, what a moment. And to do it in front of 6,500 fans on a Wednesday night in Belfast, again, live on the Elite League webcast, was just absolutely fantastic. And
then obviously we had this moment of great celebration. Never ever gets old, this feeling. I think it was, I remember what Steve Thornton said just afterwards, it doesn't get boring this year, it doesn't.
Do you know what? We had a special guest last Wednesday night. Adam had organised for Petr to come in. And we kept it quiet. We didn't tell any of the boys. You know, there was only one or two of them that in the locker room that knew about it. And then Petr arrives in and he goes in and gives the boys a pep talk before the game. And Davy, we were there, and you could hear from the outside that the response he was getting from the players. And then he obviously read the starting six. You know, I spent a bit of time with Petr on Wednesday night at the game, and you know, he was all in. I mean, I love the bit that the passion that he brings. I picked him up at the airport at 20-5 on Wednesday, and he was buzzing. I mean, he was absolutely buzzing. He was saying that, he says, you know what, I know I'm not playing, but see when you get cup finals, it's the best feeling. You know, you just go out there and you know, you want to do your best. You want to, you know, we need to win this tonight. It's we, and I absolutely love that. But the passion he was showing in a car between me picking him up and taking him to the hotel, and then he just walks around from the hotel to the arena after that. But he was fully invested in it. He's fully invested in it now, and he loved it. When Kieran Long scored the first goal, he was the first one out. Shouting, "Yes, Longer! Yes, that's the man!" A couple of expletives, and you know, getting that first goal from Kieran Long. If we had a video that, it would have been definitely, you could have sold it, no problem at all. But yeah, fantastic for Petr to be over and they get involved in the Challenge Cup as well, which was fantastic.
I thought it was lovely, and people, you'll be able to see him on the footage, like standing centre ice when the celebrations are going on, videoing the crowd, for on his own mobile phone, in the locker room afterwards with the boys sitting on the floor listening to Keefe talking. Just one of the boys, as you say, standing beside him on the ice there, getting celebration. He was fully into it. I think if he could have got his skates on and skated that trophy to the crowd, that meant every bit as much to him. Oh, there's P.O. Unfortunate situation there, says, with the trophy, but it's always something to talk about. The boys taped it up, got it there on the town anyway. But listen, we will move on. I may have, don't know whether I can do this or not, but I'm going to try to. With a little interview with Mark Cooper after it's maybe Scott Conway. He's telling me. Music. I can hear music. You can't.
Right, that Davy, what's happening here?
I have to relax. It's coming. It's coming.
For sure.
Tell me. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you play for. To have an opportunity to win a trophy at home is something cool, and to be able to do it and see it through tonight is something we'll enjoy for sure. I think maybe sticking to our game plan and keeping it simple. You know, once we got up 4, I thought we played really well defensively, limited their chances. But yeah, I think everybody bought in and we played a complete 16. That's why you play for home ice advantage, right? They definitely played their part in our win tonight, and we're going to enjoy it with them.
The Challenge Cup is hard to win, and to win in front of your home fans is unbelievable. We put in a lot of work this year in order to have it to this point right now, and to celebrate in front of every single one of these fans tonight, to go out in Belfast City afterwards, it's going to be an unbelievable feeling, and a moment I won't forget. I thought we had an okay start, but it got better as the game got on. The nerves started to go away, and yeah, we played well. We shut them down in the neutral zone. We created some chances. We capitalized on some key chances tonight. And yeah, we didn't let them get past us at the end there. So the guys did an awesome job. Wish had a great game tonight. And yeah, it's a great feeling. We started out with a goal in mind, and it's to have 3 this season. And I think if we play like this tonight, we'll get all 3.
Well, obviously, it feels great to get that one over the line. I think Cardiff came out pretty hard in the first period there. I thought we did a good job of weathering the storm and then kind of turned it on the second and third period. Obviously, it felt good. Obviously, anytime you can get a shutout, though, it's really a team effort. Guys doing everything they could to not get into the net. They were blocking shots, chipping pucks out, chipping them in, and playing the right way. So couldn't be happier with the group.
It means everything. We set out at the beginning of the year to win 3 trophies. The first one was done, and luckily we did well enough early in the year to be able to host us at home, and they kept us energized all night. It was unbelievable. Everyone tonight was dominant defensively, and then we had some timely scoring. I don't think we gave Cardiff much, and when we did, Jackson was there to back us. Yeah, we're still hungry. The goal's 3, so we'll celebrate this one tonight, maybe tomorrow, and then we'll move on to whatever we have this weekend.
2 things. On the way to you're on mute, Davy. On the way to the arena on Wednesday morning, Davy asked me, and we're getting into a conversation, and Davy said, no, we're wearing black. You know, oh, no, we're wearing black. We've been wearing black all bloody year in the Challenge Cup, and you never said anything. And then we come out and do that.
Cup final's different, but the hoodoo is done. It was a cup final many years ago, as you know, says always known as Black Sunday. A team would be done well against all season, came in and beat us 5-0 in the cup final, but that's changed. So Black Sunday is put to bed, and we can wear black as much as you want. I don't mind. But, go on, Marty, you going to...
Was it the first time we wore the silver helmets in the Challenge Cup?
No. Now, Challenge Cup, yes, first one in Challenge. No, it's not. Is it that we played in the semi-final? I can't remember one in the semi-final, Marty. But they've been good for us so far.
I'm getting chirped here by Johnny Harvey, who left JV in charge. I quite agree, Johnny, to be quite honest with you. I quite agree. So, right, we will move on to... We then went across the sea, says, didn't we? Fife on... What night was that? Saturday night. Hang on. I've got this, guys. Just bear with me, but I do have this. So, where to play? Fife Flyers, share screen. Let's see it. See if we see us. See, Paddy can make it all nice and big and all. I don't even know how to do this. I'm too old for this now. Need a young lad. What's this like? Fife Flyers. Belfast Giants coming away with a 4-3 win. Goals from Mike Lee, JJ Pickenich, Josh Roach, and what was ultimately the game-winning goal for Scott Conway. Tom McCullum between the pipes. Only faced 17 shots, but kept out everything he needed to, so we could come away with the 4-3 win. Let's see if we've got highlights that we can play while we're chatting about this. I'll come to you first, Marty. There, but after the Lord Mayor's show, you know, you have to go and do a job, and it doesn't have to be pretty at this time of season. It just has to be the W.
I think, can you still hear me?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I think we were in control of the game the whole time. Obviously, the score line seems very close with it being Flyers 3, Giants 4, but we were always in the lead. We never fell behind, and I just think we were dominant. Obviously, after Wednesday, I mean, guys have obviously went through a lot of emotions, a lot of celebrations, and then to come back down to earth, to get back in, go travel on the boat, and then play in Fife, where they do have a good crowd. Fife Flyers, don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't have been as loud as what they experienced on Wednesday night in the SSE Arena. But I just think when the Giants, they certainly had a lot more shots than the Flyers, but whenever they did get a goal, or whenever they did have that little lead, the Flyers just kept on chipping away, and they got the odd rush, and obviously they scored it up. They got a short-handed goal. I think it might have looked like a bit of a trip on Conway. The camera didn't perfectly get it, but I seen Conway kind of going down when they were on the power play, and then they obviously got the leveling goal. But then obviously Giants then come out, get the 2-1 lead going into the first intermission, and then I just felt they just kind of kicked on. I thought there was good energy still in the team as well. Obviously, a lot of people, it was kind of going to be expected, maybe heavy legs from Wednesday. And then we all know that Fife have always put in that extra little bit of effort against the Giants this season. It's been tricky for the Giants to go in there and to win, but they've always went in there and got the job done. But, for other teams to go in there and maybe win by 3 or 4 goals, certainly the Giants haven't really had that opportunity to do that this year. And then just I was laughing when I was listening to Laura Duff on commentary. Giants were on the power play. She was kind of pinpointing Scott Conway, saying about how he was kind of doing a lot of unforced errors. His skating wasn't up to scratch, and there he came in on the power play just one time to top right or top left, and she even admitted it was commentator's curse. But I just thought it was a great result from the energy that was kind of left on the ice on Wednesday night.
Says after the Lord Mayor show kind of thing, having traveled across to Scotland after the excesses, maybe of a bit of a celebration on Wednesday night, and to do a very professional job. To say it doesn't have to be pretty at this stage of the season.
No, it doesn't. It's important to try and get the win, and Marty sort of covered the game pretty well there. And again, it's Fife. They've been playing better of late. There's no pressure on them. They know they're not going to make the playoffs, and you're trying to basically just take one game at a time. And when you can see that you really do get annoyed when you can see the short-handed goal. Collins blew a tire, and the guy Carosa, I think it is, walks in, scores past Tom, who I think he'll be disappointed with letting that one. I mean, I think it was the first shot on target against him. I don't know, but I can't remember what time it was at, but 16, 17 minutes into the game. And that's their first shot on target. And, it's disappointing, but he's had nothing to do for the first 16 minutes or, thereabouts. But anyway, they react and come back and obviously get an important goal just after that, the power play to take us into the end of the first period, 2-1 up. The game was never easy. It never isn't in Fife. Yes, you've had positive results in Fife over the years, but they're a decent team. They work hard. Johnny Curran's trying to get them, get through the end of the season, and it's been disappointing to try and get the you do not be able to push on when you get another goal, and to get an insurance marker. You would have been really happy if you had got that done a lot earlier in the game. But coming out with a 4-3 win in regulation, and that was really, really important for us, because Sheffield right now are in a really good spot. They have more regulation wins than what we have, and to be honest, I think they have the easier run in on paper as well. So it'll be interesting to see where we're at. But 2 points was massive on Saturday night after, I'd say, the celebrations and everything, and the efforts put into last Wednesday.
I'm going to move it on here. A win is a win is a win. That's all we're kind of concentrating on this time of season. So I'm going to bring in someone now who's been a perennial winner with the Belfast Giants. Welcome back to two of you from the Bridge. Challenge Cup champion winning Jackson Whistle. How are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. Is that the old EIHO? Not just a different Rangers.
No,
Thought
no.
your winning cap on in the house. Jackson.
That only lasted one night.
If you see them, you should get yours on eBay. They're going for a terrible price. The great performance from the boys in front of you on Wednesday night. I know you'll take a lot of positives from your own performance, but defensively the team were brilliant.
Yeah, I thought the guys played great. I thought Cardiff came out pretty hot there at the start, kind of first 10 minutes or so. I thought we did a good job kind of weathering the storm, and then in the second and third period I really thought we took it over. We really played the right way and as a group to get it done.
I know, Jackson, that you obviously take the plaudits yourself for your performance on Wednesday night and a cup-winning performance at that. But like, there's a trio of you. There's yourself. There's Andrew. There's Tom. That little trio this season's been outstanding for the club.
No, I think it's been good. You need to have success in this league. You really do need more than one goalie. You need multiple guys who can play at any given time, and that's kind of shown over the years, to be honest. Whether it's myself and Tom and Dicko or with Besco from before as well, too, in ourselves. There's just so many games and so many different scenarios that kind of come up throughout the year that it's really helpful to be able to have three guys who can play.
Wes, looking back at I get the years wrong. I think it was 17-18 season. You played against Cardiff in Cardiff. That was the year, but it was a nightmare trying to get to Cardiff for the final. We came out and beat them 6-3. Was it, Davy?
Yep.
6-3.
Something like that.
You playing that game? What?
Wasn't it Toy got the game-winning goal?
Yeah. But Wes played in net that night, and then obviously playing in net in this one. As a goaltender, Wes, it is. I mean, as you say, you need to be ready to play at any time, to come out and to be the championship winning goalie last Wednesday night, and obviously 2018 must be a pretty good feeling.
No, yeah, obviously. I think too, even over the years, like there's been many times where obviously it's kind of a one-off, do or die sort of game, where the scenarios that I've been able to kind of rely on, obviously that one in Cardiff there when I first came, or second year over here basically, and then even over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of one-off quarterfinal games, one-off semifinal games, playoffs last year. So you kind of rely on some of those experiences to be able to try and have success in any sort of one-off final game.
Obviously last Wednesday you're getting bombarded by 20 of your teammates, just against the glass, and you sort of the adrenaline's pumping through all game, and to get the final whistle, the final horn happening, and the noise in that arena last Wednesday night was just fantastic.
No, I thought it was amazing. I thought, obviously personally you feel good trying to win it for yourself, but you really feel a lot better winning it for your teammates, especially as a goalie and especially for the fans as well too. I mean, being able to do it on home ice, I think I take more pride in being able to do it for them than I do really for myself. So it was an awesome feeling.
Jackson, I've kind of noticed last year and this year, you start off good, but then kind of in around Christmas time, January, you then just kick into top gear, and you're just kind of your name's more or less going to be first on the game sheet because your form just reaches that high level. Are you doing something different in around after Christmas, or what's going on?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you, on that one. I don't know. It just seemed to work out. I guess kind of last year I was injured for the first 2 months, so didn't really get to play at all or kind of getting any rhythm because I was out for the 2 months. Then this year's just kind of worked out sort of similar really to last season in terms of getting to play. So nothing has changed for me in the last few years, just trying to work hard and do my job and get the chance to play well when I get in.
And look, obviously, you're playing very well. It's evident we can all see that. Do you feel you're in the kind of form of your life at the minute? Compared to from when you started off as that rookie to now, obviously. Well, you're late 20s now.
Yeah.
So you're obviously reaching that kind of perfect sweet spot.
I think so. I think as a goalie, I would say it's more the maturity side of things. I think your prime is kind of around that 29, 28 to 33, 34 mark. As a goaltender, it's a little bit older than, say, for a player. So I would say definitely maturity-wise and kind of mentality-wise and things like that, I've for sure matured over the years. I think that's helped.
Jackson, Jackson, we've got a lot of maybe as few as a dozen games left this season, and every single one of them, we go back to last Wednesday night, every single one of them seems to be going to have cup final mentality.
Yeah, I mean, I'm under the impression, or in my mind right now, you pretty much need to win out. So I think you got to win every game, really. So that's the way you look at it. You go in one at a time, and you got to just be prepared to do that. And that's something that we can do. So we just need to go do a job and go do it. And the best way to do it is just, one day at a time. Have a good practice tomorrow, practice well the next day, and then get ready for that first game and just kind of see where things go. But I think the mentality is, backs against the wall, you got to win every game.
The weekend obviously just passed. Jackson, coming off the championship win last Wednesday night. Tom gets a chance to go back in. He hasn't been in as much because you've been playing really, really well. Adam takes a decision to let him play both games this weekend. How do you think he did, and how do you think the team did? Obviously, with 3 points out of 4 this weekend available.
I thought he did good. I was really happy for him to be able to get in there. I think, Fife is a bit of a weird one sometimes. For whatever reason, it's been such a battle this year when we've played them. From a goalie's perspective, you don't get a ton of shots. And then when you do get a shot, it seems to be kind of a grade A quality shot. So it's really it's a hard kind of mental battle in there playing against the Flyers this year. And I thought in Glasgow, he gave us an awesome chance to win, played really well, in my opinion. And the team played well too. And, they're a tough team to play against. They're a good team this year. They got good players. And, we had that opportunity to get that second point, didn't get it, weren't able to get it across the line, but he played really well. And I thought the team played really well as well.
Jackson, I want to thank you for coming on. I'm looking at the comments from the people watching here, and obviously saying many, many, many good things about your performances this season and over the years in Taylor. So congratulations again on last Wednesday night, and let's hope these next 12 cup finals go our way as well. So see you soon.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jackson.
Thank you.
I really don't want to go too hard back to the Glasgow game, so I'm going to move on. We've got a guest waiting in the wings. And what a guest, the main man. Welcome back. Champion, another championship, Adam, to add to the few that you've got already in Belfast, but a 5th Challenge Cup. You must be pretty happy.
Yeah, I was very happy for players in particular, obviously the crowd as well, been really supportive of us all year long. It's nice to reward the fans with a home ice championship, but, right from probably the Kieran Long's goal on, I felt the players were just completely engaged to get that done, and that was nice to see. So I'm really happy for them. We talked a lot about being solid defensively, giving ourselves a chance to win. So it was really nice to see Jackson and the team get a clean sheet there as well, to kind of see that one over the line.
You talk often about the intensity of this league, the 54 games or whatever it is to win the league, but it's now 13, 14, 15 to win the Challenge Cup. And that starts, all right, way back training camp, but the games start thick and fast in September. And if you want to host that final, you've got to be on it from the first day of September.
Yeah, I think that's probably maybe some of the players' rude awakening to myself. And, the first time you start to lose in Scotland, you would probably expect just a little calmer coach, but it really is right from day one. You got to start to instill that mindset that we just can't lose. And specifically in the Challenge Cup, with the format the way it is, if you finish first place, you get to secure first seed and a possible home ice final. I mean, that's massive incentive right there to be as perfect as possible. And we were pretty perfect last season as well. Just Sheffield was, I believe they were perfect, so they had the first seed there. It didn't ultimately matter because we ended up, shooting ourselves in the foot in the quarterfinal. But, this year's a new year and we wanted to start off the right way. And the guys accomplished that first goal, which is to get first seed. And obviously now looking back, how thankful we are that we did accomplish that first goal.
Adam, 5 out of 7 in your 7-year coaching career, 5 Challenge Cups. That's nothing to be sniffed at. Like, that's quite an achievement.
Well,
that's a question.
I've been pretty fortunate to coach some pretty good hockey teams, and and to be provided with all the tools possible from the RC Trust and Steve Thornton, to have a good team on the ice and to surround myself with good people. So usually when you do that, good things can happen. And that being said, we've put a big focus on the Challenge Cup. It's one that kind of eluded me as a player, as you guys know all too well. We had a lot of heartbreak in that, and it's always one that kind of slipped away from me, and as well as the playoffs. So it was nice to get the playoffs done as well a couple of years ago, and it's one obviously when we get there, we'll be looking to try to replicate that as well.
Going into this weekend, obviously, we managed to pick up 3 out of 4 points from the weekend past in Scotland. Going into this weekend, you've got to face Cardiff again Friday night. It's going to be a tough ask. We've had some real good success so far this season against the Devils, but it's going to be a real challenge on Friday night.
Yeah, all these games, throughout the year, they go. You could think back to the number of the Sheffield games where we had leads, gave them up. Multiple other games, some of the Cardiff games have kind of gone where they've outplayed us for some portions of the game, and we've come out to find a way to win. So every single game could go either way, and we just for us going into Friday, we need to focus on being solid foundation wise, being solid defensively, and giving ourselves a chance to win. And within that, you got to find some big moments, and I thought, we weren't at our best in Glasgow, certainly possession-wise, but we were pretty solid defensively. There's only a few breakdowns I can pinpoint on that one as well. So we gave ourselves a chance to win. We didn't really have that big moment to win the game, and that's kind of where we dropped a point. We did have the big moment to get back into that game and to get us a point, So, we're going to try and give ourselves a chance to win, but we need to find some big moments, some big plays, big power play goals, big saves. All those things need to happen for us to continuously win games consistently. So that'll be the focus going into this weekend as well. We got to give ourselves a chance, and then we got to find some big moments.
Adam, congratulations on Wednesday. Awesome night. But just obviously touching back on the league fixtures, do you feel that the teams have kind of changed their style of play now playing against yourselves? At the start of the year, the Scottish teams in the Challenge Cup, we did beat them. Well, we didn't beat them quite comfortably, but we did beat them, and we more or less nearly got that near perfect record. But do you feel now, with them turning it on, going down towards the playoffs, thinking towards playoff hockey, do you find that their style of play has changed dramatically from the start of the season?
Well, I think every single team's style of play has changed dramatically since the start, because at the start you got 20 new players trying to figure out a system, the way you want to play, coaches trying to figure out what they have and what is going to be our identity, what are we good at, what are we weak at. All those things are happening early on, and you got to find your way within it. You still got to try and find ways to win. At this stage in the season, all coaches are pretty familiar with how each team plays and where their strengths are. But everybody's playing for something right now. You look at the Dundee in Manchester fighting for a playoff spot. Glasgow's fighting to climb the ladder as much as possible. They're rolling right now. And then within all of that, you have the fact that we're in first place and we just won a Challenge Cup. So you're not hiding from anybody. Everybody's coming in to take some skin off the Belfast Giants right now, and every single team is going to be prepared for us. So we're going to face the best goalie. We're going to face the best of their team, and we have to be prepared for that. We're going to face some good goaltenders because, the reality is if we're up against a team that's kind of not probably at their best, and we are, they're probably going to be in for a long night. So, we need to be at our absolute best to make sure that we're giving ourselves a chance every night, or you're going to see teams come in and we're going to struggle offensively, and that's the way it's going to be, because teams are prepared. They want to, I guess, rain on our parade here. So, we just need to be at our best. That's it. That's what we talked about it for the last couple months. It is us versus us. If we're at our best, we're giving ourselves a good chance. If we're trying to sleep into games, we're going to be in trouble.
And look, you've probably been asked this question over the years, and the competitiveness of the league. I think looking at ourselves up in first place, and then you look down to the final playoff position, Dundee, I think there's only something like 20 points between first and eighth. So do you find that the competition, year after year, give or take the odd year, that the level between the competition between the teams is getting closer?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think the quality of the league as a whole has grown. There's evidence in that, and just in the Champions League results. Obviously, Sheffield getting through this year and us narrowly missing out the last season. It just continues to get better and better, and that's a credit to the league. That's credit to the players within it and the coaches within it, that this league is rising, and I think that it's going to continue to do so. It's good for the fans, not so great for the coaches, stress factors, but it's great for the league. We recognize that. Yeah, I wish we had a 20-point gap here at first place. Would be lovely, but the reality is there's a lot of good hockey teams in this league. Anything can happen on any given night. Anybody can beat anybody, and that's exciting for the fans, exciting for the league. We just got to find consistency within that to see this thing over the line.
Adam, you've cited the stressfulness of the situation as it is now. Sort of the guys will be playing with knocks and stuff, but is now this run in 10, 11, 12 games, whatever it is about managing the mental side of the game as well. They've done their reps. The fitness side of the thing isn't a real worry. It's about how you manage the stress, how you manage the mental side of the game as well.
Yeah, there's certainly a little bit of that going on. Obviously, it's like an extended period of game sevens, if that makes sense. I mean, but it's it's the playoffs, but it's extended over the last probably 6 to 8 weeks, where you feel like you're in the playoffs. Normally, playoffs, they happen quite quick. At least a 7-game series happens within 14 days. So you're asking players to stay engaged mentally a lot longer, it does take a lot of fatigue, and it fatigues the mental side of the game pretty quickly. So that's why it's important to kind of switch the brain off here when we do get some rest, and then recover and get right back to it and recharge the batteries. Because for me, the mental side of the game, you got to figure that out here down the stretch. But really, we need to see an elevation in our intensity, our urgency. That's what you see in playoffs. When you watch the NHL playoffs, everybody says it's two different leagues, the NHL regular season and the NHL playoffs. And why is that? And the reality is everybody raises the tempo of their game for the playoffs, and we're in the playoffs, so we need to do that. We need to raise the tempo of our game, and we need to raise the urgency level to make sure that we get it done, as opposed to hoping we get it done. You're muted.
Try it again.
I know. Take two. I want to take you away from your league action. I know you don't like taking your eye off anything that's right in front of you right now. I've known you long enough now. But your testimonial is only 12 weeks away. You have the 8th of June set aside for the testimonial. And you've already announced that there's quite a few of your old teammates and guys that you've played with and coached down the years. Obviously, you've got the likes of Besco's been announced, Chris Higgins, Kevin Surratt, the Bash brothers, other twin and Darrell Lloyd. You've got all these guys that you have, Sanley, Pels, Benny, Darcy, Bonner, Ryle, Savvy. You must be looking forward to it because, I know it's been a long time coming. Obviously, we were supposed to happen a few years ago with COVID, gotten away, and then just the way things have been going, you've been winning championships by every single year, more or less. But you must be delighted that we've actually got this finalised and you're being recognised for your contributions to hockey in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, it's nice to, mainly see the people that are going to come back for it. And, I know that the off-ice staff, yourself, have relationships with the players that are coming back. The fans have had relationships with the players that are coming back. They're players that, to me, made a big impact in the city, whether it was in the year they were here, a couple of years they were here, whatever it is. They made a big impact. They understood. They bleed teal. There's a lot of guys, too, that I wish could come back or I could invite back. Obviously, there's, a budget within these things to try and get everybody back. So you can't have everybody back, but the guys that are coming back, great memories, great laughs. I'm sure everybody's going to have. I'm happy for the fan base, happy for those players coming back. They absolutely love it here. Happy for the off-ice staff to get to mingle with those guys again. And I just think it's going to be a great weekend overall, just to kind of reminisce and share some laughs and some memories, because when you're in this little bubble each year of trying to win trophies, there's not much time or thought process for much else. We're all in on each trophy here. So, I obviously thank Laura for doing the grunt work here and yourself for helping me out with this, because I haven't given a ton of thought to this testimonial, but I am looking forward to being able to enjoy it in June without being trapped in this little elite league bubble here.
Out of all the guys that have been announced so far, who's your favorite?
I don't have any favorites. They're all good guys. Obviously, a couple from each year. It seems that it's that way, and there's probably some real good memories on every one of those, and I'm sure I'm in for a lot of laughs and a lot of guys ripping on me. So it should be.
I would say there'd be a queue. I know you've still got a bit of thought process to go into which way you're going to do the testimonial game, but you're looking to make it a bit more competitive. Is that all we can say without giving too much detail away just now?
Yeah, definitely. I want to get the competitive juices flowing for the guys. I think that just playing a 5-on-5 game doesn't allow for a whole lot of ice time, or it doesn't allow for the guys to really get engaged in the game and looking to put something on the line to try and get the competitive juices flowing. So I think that it was nice. It would be nice to have a bit of fun with it all, but also compete. There's nothing I hate worse than playing in a game when there's no competition going on. So we'll see if we can make it as competitive and fun as possible, and hopefully get a few guys trying to bring garbage cans on the bench.
If we had to save the date, Adam, what date would we be saving?
June
Tell
8th.
me, June 8th.
That's right.
Everybody. Just before we go, Simon was talking about the Challenge Cup final and Petr Cech coming along, and seeing him standing watching the boys getting their trophy and medals at centre ice, taking videos of the crowd. He was really engaged and he loved his time in Belfast this week.
Yeah, I think he's got a soft spot for Belfast. Obviously, what he did for us last season there at a time of need, thought it really calmed the team down a little bit at a time when we were going through some problems on the ice, and gave me someone to pick brain. Obviously, I drove with Petr there for a long time, and I've read a lot of stuff on the top athletes in the world, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, those types of athletes, the best of the best. And in my opinion, Petr is right there with mentality wise. And I say that because the best of the best is not just the talent that they have in their field. It's their mentality that puts them there, their work ethic, their commitment, their sacrifice, all those things that we like to talk about and say as coaches. Well, Petr, I mean, he is the perfect example of all of that. You know, I tell a story that he came over for training camp to help us out when we lost Jackson for the Great Britain national team. And we had a day up to trek up the Mourne Mountains, and then we were going to practice the next day. And I told Petr he didn't need to come for the Mourne Mountains trek, you know, just be there for the practices. And no chance. You know, he wanted to be there to go up that mountain with the guys. He doesn't want to miss that. You know, I believe he was first up and first down. So, and he's a special human. He's one of the most competitive people I've seen. And, you know, anytime we can have that around the locker room, trying to rub off on the guys, you know, you certainly want to use that. And he's been great for us. He was great for us in the Challenge Cup final. I believe he had a big part to play in that and getting the players ready before the game and just getting them engaged. And I'm happy for him to get to come here and experience that as well, because he has played a part here in Belfast, and it was nice for him to experience that with the home final. And you know, he was as excited as the rest of us for the boys to get it done.
He's also an incredibly humble guy. I'll tell you a little story you may or may not know. That GB game pre-season, he came out of the room 10, 15 minutes before. He's fully dressed, ready to go. Is there any water? And I didn't. Oh, so I'll get you some. And he says, okay. And he came back a minute later and I hadn't got any. He went, don't worry about it. And he went in his full kit and he stood at the queue with the burgers and chips with all the people, got to the front of the queue, got 2 bottles of water, paid with his card, went back in the locker room. It's just it's a real humble guy. Won the European Cup and people are standing getting their burgers and chips. Is that better? And he just absolutely normal guy, which is probably the one nicest thing about him, or that you could say about him. He's just a regular guy. But Adam, again, congratulations on the win last week, and good luck in these 12 cup finals upcoming, and hopefully see you at the weekend.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
Oh, I removed Sis and kept Adam. Let's do that. We'll just give Adam
Sis couldn't wait to get off.
Sis will be like he's there. He's took the huff now. So thank you, Adam. We'll see you again. Cheers. Hopefully Ketchy will come back. But look, if Ketchy doesn't come back, I think we can gloss over. We also played in Glasgow at the weekend. It was a 2-1 overtime loss or penalty shots loss. Can't remember. And even I watched the game. So we'll move on because we only want to focus on wins. And who better to talk to about a win against the Cardiff Devils than friend of the show? Always good to have him back. Neil Francis, Franny, thanks for joining us.
Hi guys, how you doing? Did you have anything interesting to speak about this week?
Nothing really
I love
happened.
your lampshade, man.
No.
The team lampshade looks fantastic.
Yeah. It's actually navy. It's just the light. It's navy.
We could be accused of having teal specs at times on this podcast, but obviously you're over in Belfast. We'll try and gloss over the cup final as much as we can. I said earlier, we're more focusing on Friday night coming up, but obviously you're working for the EIHL TV. So your own thoughts on what was, apart from a hockey, a great spectacle for the league?
Yeah, it was. It was good to do the game with Murph. I'd never done a game with him. Obviously, I've done a bit with the the boys Gaza and Dan in Cardiff, but it's good to work with Murph and see how he does things. I thought, a cup final is a spectacle, sold out arena. You can't ask for more than that, can you? I thought for the game, the Devils started really well, and the first goal was probably a bit against the run of play and had a little element of fortune to it. But like I said on the webcast, there is elements of fortune in all hockey games, but you've got to make the most of it. And I thought your guys did that. And certainly then when you got the lead, you made it absolutely impossible to come back and close the game out as well as I've seen the team do that.
Did you think that third goal early in the second period was a real killer blow?
I thought the killer blow was the second goal in the first period with a minute to go. I don't think at that stage of the game where I thought we'd had a decent period, we'd outshot the Giants. And I think coming in one goal down to, you know, a bit of bad fortune would have been fine. I think that would have been, you know, easy enough to get a message. But I think that second goal, you know, with a minute to go in the period was badly timed. And, you know, we've hardly scored against you all season. So to be 2 down, knowing we need 3 goals to win, probably dented, you know, a bit of the belief within the camp, which was strong going into the game because we had some decent games. And then to get that third goal then off the, you know, the dashboards, it almost had a smell of, you know, when it's not your night, it's not your night.
Yeah, I pretty agree with you. I said that earlier in the show, Franny, about the second goal was a really important one. You know, Peter and Keefe would have been thinking about the way they're going to approach the conversations in between the room there, 1-0 down, and then obviously the chance get that second goal with less than a minute to go in the first. It is a different conversation that you're having with your players. I mean, you've been in those locker rooms a long, long time, but it genuinely is a different conversation. As you say, you know, the Devils haven't scored against the Giants so much this season, and I know there's still a long way in the season to go, but that second goal was definitely the killer blow, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then to follow it up with that bounce, you know, in the early in the second as well, it was, you know, once you're 3 goals down, needing 4 then to win it, yeah, that's, you know, you're skating uphill for the rest of the game.
You're this season, obviously you've won the Continental Cup. There's still 2 trophies up for grabs for the Devils. I'm still not ruling them out for the league. It's going to be tough. We all know that's going to be tough for you. But this league's going to go right down to the final weekend and possibly the last day. And obviously next up for both the Devils and Belfast is a matchup against each other on Friday night in Cardiff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hold much, if any, hope for the league because I think if it was the point differential between us and the Giants, then you can say anything can happen. But for us needing 3 good teams to drop so many points, I think, you know, I think we're out of the race. But, you know, for the other 3, I think it is game on because we've seen it, haven't we, over the years that there's so many twists and turns, unexpected twists and turns in the running. Especially after a long, hard grind season as it is in the Elite League, that, you know, anything can happen. You know, from our point of view, it's all about playing our way into good form, good habits, trying maybe a few different things for the playoffs. And it's good. The more games I think that we can have against top teams like yourselves, then it's better preparation for those playoffs. And like you said, it starts on Friday night. And I wonder, I mean, we saw on this weekend that Pete tried something a bit different. He almost mirrored what you guys do with Jackson and having Andrew Dickson backing up. You know, we had Bouncy playing and we had Tyler Delapetouche backing up, which allowed another import forward. So, I mean, that's maybe a consideration for Friday. But yeah, I mean, I think for us now, it's... I think the biggest thing for Friday for the Devils is getting over the mental hurdle that we've lost at every game to the Giants this year. And, you know, there's no way we want to go the whole season losing every single game. So that is a big motivating factor for Friday for us.
Oh, look, it's huge. I mean, I didn't want to bring that up. You know, it's one of those ones where we have had a lot of success this year against the Devils, but we know how a competitive team. I mean, and you know, I've said, Davy's been on the show more or less every show this season with me. I've said the Devils are the team to watch for me, especially getting the one-off games, so like the playoffs, and you're getting the potential final or quarterfinal, semi-final of the playoffs. That's teams like the Devils, big, strong boys, and you know it's the experience that they've had over the years as well. And you've won championships, and you know, getting over the line to win those championships is the hardest part of it.
Yeah, and it's going into that final on Wednesday, I was full of optimism because there was a real good mentality around the Devils. You know, that the game against Nottingham that we had that was 0-0 in regulation and we win it in overtime, that was absolutely superb. And I thought that was perfect preparation. I mean, we hit the bar 5 times, so we had loads and loads and loads of chances, and we created those, and they were clean, good chances. Like I said, hit the bar so many times. And then when I walked into the Odyssey and just chatting with a few people that I know from Belfast, that are around the team, there seemed to be quite a negative vibe that I found really weird about the chances in the cup final. Considering you guys were 5-0 against us, top of the league, there seemed to be a little bit of doom and gloom, and I'm not sure if that's off the first time that you've lost. I think it was 3 in a row, but I think that's where you got to just take stock and say, look, we're top of the league, we're in the driving seat here, so there's nothing to be negative about, I don't think, if you're in the Giants organization right now. And come the game, your guys got the job done.
Franny, you talked about there was optimism within the Devils camp. I mean, you guys started off really well this season. I know you kind of had a few games in hand, but you set the pace, and it took a while for teams to claw you back and catch you in. I think it kind of crumbled a little bit after the winning of the Continental Cup. So, I mean, I believe, and just what Sis had said there, going towards the likes of playoffs and stuff, the Devils are certainly a team to be watching out for.
Yeah, I mean, there is, like, people have talked about the curse of the Continental Cup. Sheffield experienced it when they went across there, and they had a few long-term injuries, and you guys, when you were in it, I think your season fell apart after it. And it just seems to happen that you have those, and it is tough because you're taking 2 weekends out of an already congested schedule, and then you've got to make up those games in and around it, and you inevitably pick up injuries and things like that. Up to that point, I was feeling really good, up out in front and setting the pace. But the form for the last half of the season has been nowhere near good enough to win a league championship. And that consistency is really kind of, the consistency between the first half and the second half of the season has really hurt us. And, there's mitigating factors, but, every team has mitigating factors. But I do regain some optimism. Now we've got bodies back, and, we're able to put a full lineup out there that we've got no real pressure on us for the next 3-4 weeks till the playoffs start. So we can use it to fine tune, where the other 3 teams are in a big league championship hunt. And if you think about the last time that happened, I think it was Coventry that was the sleeper team, weren't they, in the playoffs, that they had nothing to play for. They qualified ages in advance, and they just kind of used that to reset and recuperate, and then walked the playoffs because everybody else was beat up from challenging each other for that league championship.
You've also got the opportunity here, Franny, to be kingmakers or king spoilers. You have to play Coventry, you have to play Nottingham tomorrow night, play Nottingham, you have to play ourselves on Friday, play Sheffield in the last game of the season. Like, anybody that's going to want to win this league has to go through Cardiff at the minute. Yeah,
and I don't think teams will look forward to that, because we are playing with the pressure off at the moment. I mean, there's pride, and there's obviously playing for our fans and for the jersey and all that kind of stuff. But that is a different kind of pressure than when you can't afford to drop a couple of points when you're in such a tight championship race. So yeah, I think we will have a big hand in who wins it and who loses it. But that's not something I don't think that we can focus on. I think we've just got to, do that boring thing and concentrate one game at a time, just trying to get into that form and into that rhythm and get the consistency back that we had at the early end of the season.
Yeah, just looking at the league table, it's like you're not going to get caught from below. It's probably going to be possibly a bit of a stretch to even catch Nottingham at this stage. So probably looking at that 4th, 5th playoff anyway. So it could end up being, I guess, Coventry, Glasgow, Guildford, they're all in the hunt there. So for you, it's just about using this next, whatever it is, 6-7 games. So you hit the ground running. The playoffs, Franny, as you know, it's 2 weekends. Anything can happen. You want to be as fit as you can be, and you want to be in as good a form as you can be.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if we do stay in that 4th spot, we've got a difficult tie no matter who it is, because I think Glasgow's one of the form teams in the country, as you guys found out on the weekend. That they are probably over the last, 6, 7, 8 games, the form team. Coventry have had an exceptional year and started off on fire, had a little dip in the middle, but they're back now to performing at a high level. And Guildford are always tricky, and they've probably underachieved for the team they have and the potential they have. But that's a tough one for us. And but who knows? One of the teams in the top three could totally fall apart. And this time of year, the pressure can get to you, and you lose one, you lose two, and then all of a sudden you're in a bit of a spin, and maybe we do catch one of those. So it's certainly going to be interesting. I mean, I would love for us to be closer in that title race, to be battling with those other three teams. But yeah, it's where we're at, and like I said, mitigating circumstances or not, it's where we find ourselves, and we've got to just use it for the best we can, and aim to win that last trophy.
Well, as always, Neil, we thank you for your time and jumping on the podcast again tonight after what's a tricky enough week for you. But we'll look forward to seeing you down in Cardiff Bay on Friday evening. Yeah,
I'll look forward to it. I mean, we always love the games against you guys. They always seem to be good ones, and it'll be interesting to see if we can get over the curse of the Giants.
And just in closing, enjoying your time behind the mic rather than behind the bench?
I don't mind doing either. I enjoy being on the bench. I enjoy being, behind the mic and chatting hockey. It's whichever. I'm a utility man when it comes to stuff like that.
Good man, utility player to utility mic man. So look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, thanks guys. Good to see you all.
Cheers, Franny. Thanks, man.
Right, says
such a good
awesome.
lad.
Awesome fella. Never says no to the podcast. We appreciate that massively. Says as the veteran on the show, do we go back and talk about the Glasgow game, or we'll just spin on to like any other business?
You just got to scream over it. It was a tough game. Tom played very well.
Very well.
They got the go-ahead goal in the third. We came back a minute and a half later, and then there was a penalty shootout. That's I absolutely agree with Franny. Glasgow are a tough team to play against at the minute. So they're one you've got to keep an eye on. You do not want to be facing Glasgow in the playoffs. They're the informed team, and to pick up 3 points from the weekend after a championship win, I think I probably would have took that, to be honest. However, that's the next one. Friday night's massive.
Marty, anything to add to the Glasgow game?
Yeah, I think we had I totally agree with Sis. I was actually going to say, look, yeah, you would have took 3 points, no problem, after the Challenge Cup win on Wednesday night. As we already touched about, emotion, celebration, tiredness, everything. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're playing the top two teams or if you're playing mid-team and the bottom team, then they're going to come hard at you. And I think 3 points was good enough for the team. But I think we did have a chance, though, in that Glasgow game to win it. We got the power play on the overtime, and boys were playing it well. And there was the most crucial poke check. I can't remember. I think it was Perry was the defenseman. Got a crucial poke check. If not, I think it was Cooper was in there to get the more or less he would have hammered it home. But yeah, that was an awesome play by the end. But then obviously what Sis had said about then they just went and then they creamed the shootout. All you can't blame Tom for any of them. They were really good shootout goals.
So we've talked about everything. This weekend upcoming, we have Cardiff on Friday night in Cardiff Bay. Get yourself down there. If you can't get there, it'll be on Cardiff Devils TV, I think it's called. And Sunday then says we head home for a game against the Belfast Giants reserves, the Guildford Flames. So any tickets available?
Yeah, there's just a few. There's not many, but there's still a few left. I mean, it's just insane. We talk about this every week. The amount of tickets that are being sold sellouts has been absolutely fantastic. So it's game upon game upon game. So we've Friday, Sunday, Wednesday next week against the Fife Flyers, which is that other game which has been brought into it after the cancellation 22nd December. So a couple of massive games coming up. After the way we played the last couple of weekends and the Steelers catching up on us, only a 2-point gap now. I said it earlier. I think that Steelers have got an easier run in than what we have, and we're having a discussion today. It's arguably to say the Steelers are probably in prime position right now. They're a really good setup. They're a really good team, but they have a tough game on Friday night against Glasgow. The same time we play against Cardiff. So Friday night is a big night, both up in Glasgow and in Cardiff.
And then any other business, gents? Marty, any other business?
All is good.
Just about Adam's testimonial. There is tickets. Get your hands on them ASAP, folks, because there's a few more announcements coming very, very soon. Obviously, the announcement now about the hospice hockey as well, which is something that is being worked on as we speak. It was announced last week there's going to be some stars coming in, ex-Giants. There's going to be some other hockey players coming in. There's going to be celebrities. There's going to be from the sports world, from the Northern Ireland royalty and celebrity circles. But we're not going to give too much away just now. But keep your eye on the Belfast Giants socials, because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a little bit different to what we planned with regards to a normal hockey game. But there's going to be a lot happening. So if you can make it, as I say, Adam's testimony on the 8th of June, the hospice hockey on the 7th of June. And hopefully you can all make it. And because you get that time of the year, we get inundated with people, when's the next announcement for the player? When's that happening? That's basically the week that the board get together and do the fixtures announcements as well for the season upcoming. So it's going to be a busy week for Steve Thornton, I know that. But really looking forward to getting a couple of weeks off. That's a lie. Getting 1 week off and then getting stuck back into the everything for June. And then obviously wherever we end up in the league title this year is going to be dependent on what we're doing for pre-season. But we're already in pre-season mode with regards to the organisation right now as well. So we're speaking to Steve about that today, and there's a lot of organising to do tomorrow.
The only thing I've got for any other business is if you're that way inclined, get yourself on the eBay. The Elite League have some really novel items, signed helmets, signed caps, signed pucks from the Challenge Cup final. They're there. Go find them. But it only remains for me to thank Marty, Hero, Says, who else do I have on? Jackson Whistle for coming on, Neat Fans for coming on, and of course, head coach of the Belfast Giants, Adam Keefe. Always amazing to have him on the show. Games this week against Cardiff, I've already said. Game on Sunday against Guildford Flames. If you can't get to the SSE, some tickets available. If you can't, Giants TV says.
I haven't actually sorted that out yet. I better send a message.
Send a message. You can get it on Giants TV, but wherever you are, we hope you enjoy your hockey, and we'll catch you next time. I'm going to learn how to switch this off. One of you from the bridge.